Hello, and welcome back to Skyrim. So last time we talked to a floating, glowing blue orb, and now we had to talk to Mirabelle about finding the Staff of Magnus. I've also reinstalled the dynamically lowered hood mod because we're no longer wearing a hood. We got our mage's circlet from Savos, so I'm wearing that instead. Because the dynamically lowered hoods was having problems with my orcish character. The hood model was not lowering correctly, and my hair was clipping through my hood. But now that is not an issue. Hi, Mirabelle.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary.
Do you know anything about the Staff of Magnus?
Well, now that's an odd question. Why in the world would you be asking?
Archmage Aaron said you mentioned it recently.
I see. Well, yes, I suppose I did mention it, though I'm not sure what he expects me to tell you. I only brought it to his attention a few months back when the Synod showed up here looking for it. They were apparently under the impression we were keeping it in a closet somewhere.
And who are the Synod?
Mages based out of Cyrodiil. They fancy themselves the imperial authority on magic these last few hundred years. My understanding is that all they really do is make noise in an attempt to curry favor from the Emperor. Lots of politics, little magic. I was quite surprised to find them on our doorstep. They seemed amiable enough, but their line of questioning made me uneasy. It became clear they're trying to hoard powerful artifacts, looking to consolidate power.
And so no one knows the staff's location, then?
No one here does. The Synod seemed convinced it was somewhere in Skyrim. They inquired about the ruins of Mzulft, but that's all I remember. It sounded like they were heading there, though they were rather secretive about why. I suppose if you're intent on looking for the staff, there's a chance they might be in Mzulft yet. Just don't expect them to be cooperative.
Very well. What else can you tell me about the Staff of Magnus?
I'm not really sure. Made and used by Magnus himself, if you believe those sorts of things. I believe I've heard it said that it's the only thing that could adequately contain his power. The sort of embellishment wizards of ancient times loved to make.
Alright, and out of curiosity, what do you know about the Psijic Order?
No more than anyone else, I don't think. They're a very old order. Predated the Imperial Mages Guild by quite a bit. In fact, the Mages Guild was founded in opposition to the idea of the Psijic Order, that only an elite few should have control over magic. No one has seen or heard from them in over 100 years now, though.
Yeah, I got that impression from the ones I've talked to. They seemed a little bit elitist. Not really sure I agree with them. Definitely don't like the Thalmor either, though. Enemy of my enemy, though, so I guess I'll work with them for the time being. Don't know why I'm telling her all that, but whatever. It is pretty late, though, so perhaps we should get a night's sleep before we head off to Mzulft, which is all the way over there. I've not actually been to Windhelm yet. You know what I might do, actually? I might talk to Tolfdir, see if he has a water walking spell I can learn, because that should be pretty cheap. And then I study it tonight, and then what I do is I go out in the morning, and then I walk across this body of water, discover Windhelm on the way, and then go to Mzulft from there. Oops. Sometimes I have to do FOV 90 in chat again after I open, or not chat, in console again after I open my map, because it sometimes messes with hand positions if you're playing on custom FOV. If you're wondering why I did that. Normally I cut that out of the video, but I forgot to press the pause recording button. Oh well. So where's Tolfdir then? The magic tells me he's in this tower. Very good. So let's get our fast friends spell ready really quickly, and then have a word with good old Tolfdir.
It's always encouraging to see the younger generations embracing education.
What do you have for sale, Tolfdir?
Take a look.
I'm looking for a water walking spell. Yeah, pretty cheap like I thought it would be. And then you can have some of these things that I enchanted for practice. As well as a mild hood. I don't need that anymore. I have a circlet that is just on par with it.
Take care now.
Are any of the other apprentices about? No? I just wanted to see if the lowered hoods were working again, since I re-added it just before this episode. Oh well. I could check another time. Right. Well, I'm going to study this spell tome, and then I'm going to sleep, eat breakfast, and then we'll head out. I'm going to cut the video now because I normally do that for spell learning, etc. So I'll see you in the morning. Alright, welcome back. So as I promised, I studied the spell, went to sleep, had some breakfast. I leveled up in my sleep, so I'll pick the perk in a moment. And I do, in fact, have the spell here. Pretty cheap to cast. It's got a low duration, though, so it's easy to recast, and you're not stuck staying on the surface of water waiting for it to wear off if you want to swim for whatever reason. But I also did notice this. So I now have access to the Arcanium's private collection. Go away, text. As an erudite of the college, you have the privilege of accessing the private collection. These books are precious. You may read them, but they may not be taken from their places. All the books that you have recovered from me can be found there. Urag Groshub. There we go. So yeah, let's choose a perk really quickly. Kind of thinking destruction. If we get combustion here, fire spells and effects are 20% more powerful based on missing health. I think giving our spells a little bit more punch is a good idea going into this ruin, so I'm going to take that. And let's head out. It's fairly early in the day still. It's 8 a.m. Had to stay up until like late 11 o'clock p.m. studying that spell tome because I got a little bit unlucky in my incantations. But it's no biggie. Yeah, we are just going to go cross country and we're going to walk across that body of water like I said we would. So instead of following that road, we will veer off it. Fog is rolling in, so it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but that's fine. You know what? I actually didn't need to veer off the road quite yet. So we're going to follow it for a little bit and then veer off. Making sure to save often as well, because I learned that hard lesson again a couple episodes ago when that assassin one-shot me. That still amuses me. The one competent assassin. Invisible, one-shot your target, you're done. Just gonna deal with this wolf before it causes us problems. Speaking of assassins, I think one just announced themselves. Yep. Let's get some oak flesh going. Get a skeleton. See, that's more like the assassins I remember. Slightly incompetent. They announce themselves, then they attack. And note from the Dark Brotherhood Assassin. This is actually Morrus's first time reading such a note. As instructed, you are to eliminate Morrus Grobberguk by any means necessary. The Black Sacrament has been performed. Somebody wants this poor fool dead. We've already received payment for the contract. Failure is not an option. Astrid. Well, that's not a very pleasant thing to find in your morning. Wonder who hired the Dark Brotherhood. I don't think it was anybody from the Stronghold, because that would be a bit too dishonorable for them, and they tend to value honor at the Stronghold. Maybe somebody who just doesn't appreciate the fact that I use necromancy. Like maybe one of the local Nords or something. Yeah, here's where we would veer off the road. Looks like there's a Thalmor patrol. Oh no, it's not Thalmor, it's Imperial. Got my wires crossed in my brain for a second. I see some ice raids ahead too. Let's get Magnus back out and deal with these. I think I saw another. Ah, it's fighting a wolf by the looks of it. Whoops, one shot. Might be a good idea to pretty soon invest in a better mage armor spell. Oak Flesh clearly isn't cutting it. Although, thinking about it, maybe I should have taken this perk instead of the combustion perk. Clever ice raids trying to flank me. I don't remember if I applied mage armor or not, so I was just doing it again to be sure. Try not to hit Magnus. This time we survived. Do I hear one of those crystals? I think I do. This way? Oh, there it is. I have a hard time following sound. My ears, again, just are not great, so apologies. Right, and since this is a Sky Shard perk, I will put it into speech. I've already explained why. I need to quit re-explaining myself. That's a habit that I picked up when I was live streaming on Twitch. But instead I'm doing an episodic series on YouTube, and I don't think very many people will just randomly be dropping into the middle of it, so I don't need to reiterate myself. I feel like I might have said that before, which is ironic, because I would be reiterating a reiteration. Oops. I did not mean to put away my staff. Conjurer's Potion. Not sure what your deal was. You were just hostile for the sake of being hostile. We should be getting close to Windhelm now. I really need to rebind my toggle mute key because I pressed it there to take a sip of my coffee, and I very nearly pressed the stop recording button like I did in that Hogwarts Legacy video. Except the difference is I've actually taught myself, or retaught I guess, how to edit, so I would have been able to correct that mistake. Still would have been a bit tedious though. So yeah, I really should rebind that. to give you an idea of how that happened, I have number pad, like, asterisk, the multiply sign. I have that as my toggle mute button. Then I have number pad minus as my stop recording button. Well, start and stop. And then number pad plus is my pause and resume recording button. That one doesn't lead to as many mistakes, though, because the plus button is longer on the number pad. Right, so here's that water that I was talking about, which we can water walk over now. Very niche reason to purchase a spell, but I figured it's probably going to be useful to have that spell for the future, especially if we had to cross bodies of water in the cold north. No Khajiit caravan out here today. Not that Morrus would know that this is one of their stops. Although he could probably assume.
Oh, there once was a hero named Ragnar, the red who came riding to right.
Do we need to pop into the city for any reason? Do we have anything to sell? I mean, I have some potions, but not like a whole lot. Some gems. Yeah, I can sell the gems to the blacksmith. Yeah, let's do that. Why not?
Imperials think we need their laws.
Right, Stormcloak capital and all that. I'm gonna make my visit brief, because I don't think the Nords here will be very tolerant of me. Being both somebody who's not a Nord, and somebody who is dressed like a wizard.
You come here where you're not wanted. You eat our food, you pollute our city with your stink, and you refuse to help the Stormcloaks.
We haven't
Immediately
taken a side
proven
because it's
right
not our fault.
about the whole race thing.
Maybe the reason these Greyskins don't help in the war is because they're Imperial spies.
Imperial spies? You can't be serious.
Maybe we'll pay you a visit tonight, little spy. We got ways of finding out what you really are.
Maybe I'll pay you a visit
You
another
hate
time.
the Dark Elves. Are you here to bully us and tell us to leave?
No, I don't hate your people.
You've come to the wrong city then. Windhelm's a haven of prejudice and narrow thinking. Unworthy of one such as you.
Yeah, it looks like those Nords were giving you trouble, and one of them is still scowling at you, and now he's scowling at me. What, got something to say, big guy? Yes, looks like they were giving you trouble.
Nothing new there. Most of the Nords living in Windhelm don't care much for us. But Rolf is the worst by far. He likes to get drunk and walk around the Grey Quarter yelling insults at us in the small hours of the morning. Oh, a real charmer, that one.
Yes, charming. Well, I hope the rest of your day is better than this.
Until next time.
Fun fact, one of the creation kit tweaks that I have done, that I've kind of referenced before, is to make him non-essential. So I can kill him, and Morrus is very strongly considering killing him at some point. Hello.
Fancy robes. You a wizard or something?
Yes. Hopefully that's not a problem for you. What do you have for sale?
Take a look.
I'm actually more interested in selling you stuff. I'm also looking at the new icons that are appearing in the inventory. We may have some of these. I'm going to hold on to these for now because we're going into a Dwemer ruin. Having like an emergency magic item could help.
Whether it's armor you need or a new blade, come see me.
While I'm here, I might as well stop by the alchemist as well.
I'll be fine.
Master, you're far too old for this sort of journey. We don't know what's inside.
I can... just...
You see, you're not well. Have a seat, and I'll fetch you some tonic.
Oh, if there was a tonic that could help me, I would have found it by now.
Sorry, is this a bad time?
I'm so close to the answer.
What was that argument about?
Just a man's life work is all. I finally derived the location of the White Phial, but this doting busybody won't let me get it.
If you tell me where it is, I could get it for you, actually. I wouldn't mind.
You would do that? It's good to know there are some people out there who are willing to help an old man. It's buried with its maker, Coralmill, in a long-forsaken cave to the west of here. Coralmill was a crafty one, even in death. You would need the skills of a master alchemist to reach its resting place. Luckily for you, I've already made the mixture. Here, take it. Please, don't dally. I've wasted enough time arguing with my useless assistant here.
I suppose we could make a little detour before getting to Mizulft. I wouldn't mind having a little bit more practice with my spells. And here, I have some things to sell you.
Ah, so you're an alchemist then?
Not really, I just have some things to sell. Daedra Heart. I feel wrong parting ways with it because it's rare and useful for certain items, but Morrus isn't really going to find much use of it. He's not an alchemist, he's not a blacksmith. He's not going to be using Daedric equipment. So, as much as it pains me, before I do that, I've just remembered.
My master can
Go get me the file, you fool!
I've learned so much from him.
I meant to cast that spell. I meant to do it also before the blacksmith, but oh well. It'll take a few, actual transactions for me to remember that. Apologize in advance for that.
May the 8 guide you to the file.
Yeah, let's finish our transactions. See, it's literally just 1 gold more for this item. It's not going to have much of a difference yet. Here, you can have those salts. You can have this Ice Wraith Essence. Those salts. Yeah, there you go. Before I head out for the file, what is the White Phial exactly?
The legendary bottle, forged in the days when Skyrim was just starting its turn to ice. A small container, made of the magically infused snow that first fell on the throat of the world. It is said that the phial will replenish whatever fluid is placed inside of it. For an alchemist like myself, it is the most pure expression of my art. To create from nothingness is poetry.
Fascinating. I can definitely see why you want it. Okay, I'm gonna get it for you.
I hope to see you again soon.
Yes, it will be soon. Also, just side note.
I don't appreciate loiterers, if that's what you're here to do.
Shut up. Side note, I like how pretty these shelves in alchemy shops look with the potion mod I'm using. I think it's El Sopa's potions redone, and it has E and B light. See if I turn off my E and B, they stop glowing. But yeah, I love how magical alchemy shops look with these.
I hope you have caught.
He was about to tell me off for gawking at his goods, and that's exactly what I was just doing. Right. Well, that's all for this episode. Next episode, we're going to pick up the White Phial. That's probably going to be the entirety of the episode. So I hope to see you then. Goodbye.